Hi, I'm Jennifer of Celtic Knot Crochet, and today in this video I'm going to show you how to crochet a brand new Celtic knot design called the Celtic Shimmer Mandala. It's an upcycle project. You'll have to guess what's inside. I have another one like this on my blog called the Easy Shimmer Mandala, and it's very similar, but this one features a Celtic knot in the middle. It's a very simple one. I show you how to crochet all that's inside here. I also show you how to weave the knot and then how to put it together so it's double-sided, and you can use two different color yarns. This uses size 3 cotton crochet thread. I also will provide for you the diagram. You can find that in our resource library at CelticKnotCrochet.com. Of course, I had to add some bling, so I'll show you how to add those too. So make sure you click on that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, or leave in the comments below what color you would like to make yours, and let's get started. To make the Celtic Shimmer Mandala, as you see here, I used Lizbeth premium crochet thread by Handy Hands, and I used size 3. So it's not as small as the size 10 or as dainty. It's much easier to see. I use this in a lot of my designs for jewelry and different things for the house. I used Christmas green and this color right here, which is Orchid Green Dark. I just thought the light and dark green went really well together. I also used a size 2.75 millimeter crochet hook. I used 2 CDs. And then I also used some jewelry findings, which will be listed in the description below. I just used a few beads and a few pieces of wire that you can find in any jewelry section of your local craft store. To show you how to make this, I'm going to use a brighter, different color. And what you want to do is put your slip knot on your hook. And you're going to chain 125 chains. Now I chain pretty fast, but sometimes I get interrupted, and what you can do is, if you'd like, you can chain maybe 20. You can put a stitch marker in and then go back and count by 20s, so you don't have to count each and every little chain over and over again. So chain 125. Once you have reached 125 chains, you'll have a long skinny chain, and you're going to work into the back of the chain. So this is the front, where it looks like a braid and a bunch of V's stacked on top of each other, and you're going to turn it over, and you can see it looks very bumpy, and we're going to work right into those bumps. So I'm going to skip the first one and put my hook under that second bump. We're going to skip the first one, and what we're going to do is yarn over, put our hook into that first bump, then yarn over, pull through that, and through everything on my hook. Do that again. Yarn over, put it through the back bump, yarn over, pull through that, and through everything on my hook. Oops, sorry, forgot the yarn over. Yarn over, hook in, yarn over, pull through the chain and the 2 loops on my hook. This is going to create a neat little texture on the other side of the cord. You can see right here. You can see that nice little slash, and we're going to do that all the way down so the whole cord looks the same. I'll show you one more time. So here's the back side, yarn over, put my hook in to that back bump, yarn over, pull through the back bump, and through the 2 loops on my hook. When I'm working on this stitch and getting into the groove of it, this is what it looks like. I pull through there, and then I pull through those 2. Yarn over, put my hook through the back bar, pull through that, then grab the base of those loops and pull through. Yarn over, hook in, yarn over, pull through the chain, adjust my grip, and pull through 2. Once you've completed working all the way across with that stitch, your cord should be about 21 inches long. So the next step is now we're going to put an edging around the cord so that the overs and unders, when we weave the knot, really pop out. You could leave it unedged, but I really like how it accentuates the over and under, which is what's so pretty about Celtic knots. For that, I'm using a contrasting color. Put your slip knot on your hook, then you're going to find this end of the cord that has the 2 yarn tails, and you're going to work under both loops along the edge. So here you can see the stitch we did created this slash across the cord, a nice texture, and we're going to work through both loops. And we're just going to do a slip stitch. So I put my hook under both of those loops, and then I yarn over, pull through that, and through the loop on my hook. Do that again. Put my hook under both of those loops, yarn over, pull through the stitch, and through the loop on my hook. I want to do this loosely so I don't make my cord all bunch up. So just relax. You can see that creates this really pretty edging that looks like a braid along one edge of the cord. We're just going to do one edge. And by doing it through both stitches on the wrong side, you'll see that there's also another set of braided look, and these stitches we're going to work into when we make the edging around the Celtic knot. So this stitch serves 2 purposes. It gives us a nice contrasting color to accentuate the over and unders, and by going under both loops at the top of the stitch, the top edge of the cord, we now create a place where we can work into later, and it's very easy. Now your cord is complete with the 2 colors on it. Now you'll need a piece of cork board or foam core poster board about 6 inches by 6 inches. You'll need to print out the Celtic knot diagram, and then you'll need a few straight pins. And I'm going to start right here where the asterisk is on this diagram, and I want the dark green side facing out. I'm going to pin it at the start and then just follow the arrows around. And I'm going to pin it in place as I go. So as you can see, the very beginning of the cord will be hid underneath the cord itself, passing over the top. going to continue following this way, and now once I've gotten to here, I come across the cord for the first time, so I just pull it to the side and see that this cord is going to be going over, and it looks right here it's going to be going over again. So pin those in place. Right at the crossings is fine. Then I follow it along up here, and then if I look here, it's going to go over again. And now I'm up to my last loop right here, and this is going to be what you call the locking loop. So every time I pass by the cord, I'm going to alternate going over or under. So I just went over, and now I'm going to go under. I can see that also here by the diagram. Then I would go over. Here you can see that the diagram shows that this part of the cord goes under. I come around, going to go over one more time, and then the end is going to meet up with the beginning and hide underneath the other cord. So while it's pinned in place, I might just make sure all the loops look even. If you follow the diagram, it should work out okay. And if your cord is about 21 inches long, this should turn out just fine for you. And then what I do, because this is a wall hanging and a decoration not going to be worn, I hot glue a bunch of these crossings to keep it in place. And I weave in all my ends, and then I would have something that looks like this. So now we're ready to add crochet around the outside of this knot. Now on this diagram you have noticed these spikes here that I put on each loop. There are 6. So as you start working, you can use this diagram to help you place the stitches that will go on the outside edge. You can see here. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 double crochets, and we're spreading them out with some chains, and we're skipping some stitches. And you're going to want that on each loop all the way around. And by using the diagram, it helps you with the placement of the first one and the last one. And for the most part, you're going to just skip 1 stitch in between. But if you ended up with a few more stitches than me, you might have to skip more than 1, just so they come out nice and spread out over each loop. So let's try that part. So here's another diagram, and I want to start. I can start anywhere, but since I'm right-handed, I'm going to start right here, and I see that this is about where I want to begin this edging. So I'll mark it there, and that's the stitch on the edging, but as I showed you before, I'm going to work into that braided stitch that we created along the back right here. And when I join a new color, I like to go right into it instead of doing a slip stitch. So I'm going to yarn over, find that stitch, look on the back, and put my hook right underneath like that. Do you see that? And that's on the back side, so it's not going to disrupt that pretty edging you created on the cord. Pull through, and I have 3 loops on my hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. By working behind this, we keep that pretty braided edging, but we can still attach another round. Then we're going to chain 2, we're going to skip 1, and now we're going to work another double crochet right in this one, but again around the back. Yarn over, put my hook through, yarn over, pull through that stitch, then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And I will continue all the way around this loop until I have 6 total double crochets. Skip 1, work in the back, chain 2, and so on. So here you can see I've completed, is it in focus for you? I've completed those 6 double crochets with chain 2s in between. Now it's time to move on to the next loop. I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to use the diagram again. See where it lines up, where I start this loop. It's right behind there. Put my hook through those 2 loops on the back, complete the double crochet as usual, and then I'll repeat the same around this loop. Chain 2, skip 1, work in that next one, but work behind, put my hook underneath that stitch, and complete the double crochet. And I will repeat that all the way around using the diagram as needed. And here I've gone all the way around, so I'm going to join at the beginning in the top of that first double crochet I made with a slip stitch. And that's the first round of the edging. You can see here, next we're going to work 3 double crochets plus a chain 1 all the way around in each space. I'm going to slip stitch into the next chain 2 space, chain 3, and I'm going to do 2 more double crochets in that same space. Then I'm going to chain 1, and then 3 double crochets in each space around, similar to the granny square. Goes fast. 1, 2, 3 double crochets, chain 1, and again 1, 2, 3 double crochets, chain 1. And I'm going to do that all the way around in every chain 2 space. Now that I've gone all the way around with the 3 double crochets in each chain 2 space and a chain 1 in between, I end by chaining 1 more. I'm going to put a slip stitch right in the top of that first chain 3 to close it up like that. And then I'm going to fasten off that color. Cut the yarn about 6 inches out, yarn over, pull through, make a nice knot. Then I'm going to switch back to the darker color because I decided that I'd have dark in the center and then dark again as the last bit of edging. So I need to create a space for these cute little scallops. As before, I put my slip knot on my hook. Then I'm going to join with a single crochet in any one of these chain 1 spaces. So I just put my hook into the space, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's it. I just did a single crochet, kind of hanging out there in space, and then I'm going to chain 5 and single crochet into the next chain 1 space. And I'm going to do that all the way around. Chain 5, single crochet into the next chain 1 space. And that will create a place for joining the front motif to the back and for adding that fun scalloped edging. Here you can see I've completed both sides of this mandala project. I alternated the colors, so on this one I did my cord in the dark green and edged it with light green, and then this one I did the cord in light green and edged it with dark green, and then of course I alternated how I edged the knot, but all the same stitches. And then what you want to do is, once you've completed both of these, you're going to have them face each other with the wrong sides facing, line up the knots like so, and now you're going to join them together in these chain 5 spaces. So I have my slip knot on my hook, and I'm just going to join with a single crochet right through both of the chain 5 spaces like that, and I'm going to work 3 more in that space, and I'm going to continue that all the way around. Now once you've gotten about halfway around, you want to pause so that you can insert the CDs or the DVDs. Now these are old, don't need them anymore, so I put the wrong sides, the side I don't want to show, facing in, and I would slide these inside. You can also find CDs and DVDs that have the shimmery side on both sides, so then you would only need to use one. But either way, it's really lightweight. So I insert just like that. The crochet stretches quite a bit. You want it nice and taut, and I continue to do the same thing. I just put my hook through both chain 5 spaces and continue with the 4 single crochets. Here I am at my last set of chain 5 spaces. I'm going to join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet of the round, and that closes up the joining round, you can see. And now we're just going to put this scallop edging. It has a cluster stitch in it. Don't worry if you haven't done those before, I'll show you each step. We're going to work 1 scallop in each set of 4 stitches. So here you see the 4 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to do a slip stitch in the first stitch, chain 3. Now I'm going to yarn over, put my hook into the next stitch after that, yarn over, pull up a loop. Now I have 3 loops on my hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2 loops only, and I'm leaving those 2 there. Then I repeat that step in the next stitch. Yarn over, put my hook in the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through just 2 loops on my hook. Now I have 3 loops left on my hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. I'm almost finished. Then I chain 3, and there's 1 more stitch left in this section. Going to put my hook in it and slip stitch, which is a yarn over and pull through everything. And that completes the little scallop. And I would just do that all the way around. I'll do one more. Slip stitch in the next stitch, chain 3, yarn over, hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, just 2. Yarn over, hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through, just 2. Now yarn over, pull through all 3, and then chain 3 and slip stitch here in the next stitch. And I'm going to continue that all the way around and then slip stitch in that very first stitch again to close it all up. So now that our crocheting is complete, all we have left to do is to add these bead elements, and it's very simple. I'll show you the supplies and how to add these on. You'll need these head pins. They're like a sewing pin, but they're not sharp at the bottom, and they have this little round disc on top. You'll need 2 of those, about 2 inches long. You'll also need an eye pin, and you can see that has a loop on top, also 2 inches long. You'll need some jewelry pliers. You can use regular household pliers that you might have, but the jewelry pliers are a little more delicate. And then some wire cutters. You'll also need an acrylic bead and some round acrylic beads. I got these at Hobby Lobby. They're by Bead Design, and they come in a big box of all different sizes for the round ones and for the teardrop shaped elements you can see there. And then I also decided to add a little pop of color to these, so I picked some lime green glass beads, and they are seed beads, but they're really big ones, so they're 2/0 seed beads, and then some 8mm metal sparkly silver beads. Let's work on the center bead element first. We're going to take the eye pin, the one with the loop on the end, and we're going to stack them as you see in the photo from the top down. First the 8mm bead, then the large seed bead, then the largest round acrylic bead, and then another large seed bead. All these supplies will be listed in the description below. Next, you're going to take your pliers and you're going to put them right up to the end of that green bead, and you're going to bend it in a 90-degree angle. Let go of the pliers, and now you have something that looks like this. Then you're going to put your pliers about 1/4 of an inch down like that, gripping that short piece, and you're going to pull this part of the wire up and over your pliers like so. And now that creates this loop that you can straighten out and thread the large acrylic bead onto. And then I just take the end of the pliers and bend that loop in. Takes a little practice. Sometimes you have to shift it backward or forward. And there you have it. And then all we'll do to attach it to the crochet project is open up the loop on top here. And I see where I want to hang. So here's that bottom loop. I want it to come hanging down, right down through the center. I just loop the eye pin right through one of the crochet stitches, close that loop back up, and now it hangs nicely from the center of that scallop. So we're going to do the other two elements here. They're very similar, it's just that they end without the dangle bead, so that's why we're using the head pin. We're also going to use one small acrylic bead here. So here is the head pin. This time we're going to go from the bottom up. So we're going to put on that tiny bicone acrylic bead. You can see it right here. And that acts as a stopper so the other beads don't fall off, but it's also decorative. Then we'll put the small acrylic round bead, then another green bead, and then the matching sparkly silver bead. We're going to create a loop the same way we did on the other one. Grasp the wire with the pliers, bend it either away or toward you so there's a nice 90-degree angle. Shift your grip on the pliers to be right to the side of the 90-degree angle, and wrap the end of the wire around the top of the pliers to create a loop, and go all the way around. Pull the pliers out. This is where the cutters are really handy. I'm going to cut off the excess. So now I have a loop. And just like we did before, I can straighten this out a little bit. And then I open it up slightly. And I'll attach it to one of the other scallops, just going right through the crocheted stitches. And then I close up the loop, and there you have it. So I would do the same thing, and then I would attach a piece of matching thread to the top, like we have here on the completed one. I like using the thread that I crocheted the edging with. That way the hanger kind of disappears and it's not distracting, and you just focus on the pretty project. So there you have the Celtic Shimmer Mandala. I hope you enjoyed making this in honor of St. Patrick's Day and all things Irish. Make sure to subscribe, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and make sure to watch the next Celtic Knot video. Thanks for watching!